Slick or fake showering ass?
Man, I messed up. Lord have mercy. I messed up. But it is what it is. It is what it is. We are up. We are live. I'm only a couple of steps away from...
You are the first participant on this Uber conference. Please hold while we wait for the others to join.
So those on Spreaker, I apologize for the early. I did not mean to push that damn button, but since the button was pushed, we're gonna make it. We're gonna pull the best up out of it that we possibly can. Let's go and get the streaming, get everything popping off. We got the lines open. I got one caller that will be calling in tonight, but until then, let's get it right.
This is Brother Hatim, and you have joined us on Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Be sure to check out our site and subscribe at tribe.gyenamejourney.com. All my brothers and sisters, hold hands and bow your heads. Let us pray. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He ready for much to God. How long will you judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? I say, between the poor and the fatherless, injustice to the afflicted and the needy, deliver the poor and needy, rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They go upon in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of court. I have said, you are God, and all of you are children of the Most High. But you shall die like men, and fall like one of the princes. Rise, O God, judge the earth. God shall endure all nations. Allahu Akbar.
This is Kabbalah 6, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Keep up with the journey. Check out what we have done in the past. Go to journeyarchives.com.
This is Ivan Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Be sure to follow Gye-Nyame Journey on Facebook, Google Plus, and Twitter. Check us out. Join the journey.
This is Ivan Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio with Monica. Enjoy. This is Raymond with the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
This is Willie. Welcome to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. I want to give a shout out to Silver Kevin, all my Silver Nation out there. I want to give a shout out to my mom. I give a shout out to my dad for raising me and my family to be around me. And I want to give a shout out to the people of my generation that's trying to do something big.
Please, you're listening to Gye-Nyame Radio.
Peace, Hotep. This man saw Hotep, aka Mr. Deity. Mr. Deity doesn't sound good. I think it sounds great. Right now, you're listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry his name.
This is Brother Hotep coming at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Shout out to the Gye-Nyame tribe, Gye-Nyame family. Stand up. Peace. If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry his name.
This is Brother Hotep coming at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Shout out to Gye-Nyame tribe.
Stand up. You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Peace. This is Gina. And you are now on Gye-Nyame Radio. Peace.
Man, you have heard it here. We have had enough. Family. I want to welcome you to Gye-Nyame Journey. We are about to have an interview with a brother by the name of Ronald Hummons. And I want to make sure that we make him feel welcome. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to start the conversation off, and then I'm going to cut it off. Now, he is sponsoring a 24-hour hunger strike to raise awareness about PTSD and how it's being misdiagnosed in our kids. This will be on the State House lawn on October the 14th, and he will go all the way into October 15th. We want to show him support, and I want him to give him an opportunity to explain to the family what's going on, and what he's doing about it outside of this as well. So we're gonna be talking about a whole bunch of stuff. So we're gonna be chopping it up. We call ourselves GNJ Media, right? Gye-Nyame Journey Media, and we want to make sure that we live up to that. So we're gonna start having a few more interviews. You know, family, if y'all got some good stuff that y'all want to talk about. But of course, you know, I have to go and do some of the lining things up first. So family, those of you that are interested in the Gye-Nyame Journey and going a little bit farther with us so that you can understand the language, like how we call today Coochie Chagalia. It's Coochie Chagalia Day, right? You know what I'm saying? How we do that and why we do that. You know what I'm saying? We want to give you the opportunity so that you can learn about it. So you could go and check us out at our free e-course. Our free e-course, of course, is called Gye-Nyame. It's free GNJ e-course, and I'm gonna post up the link for you because I want to make it as easy as possible for you, because I don't want those excuses. I want people to be able to get on here and know exactly what's going on. I need to post it there and see if it pops up in the Facebook, because I am kind of concerned because a lot of stuff that I'll be posting up don't be popping up. Okay, let me do this. Boom. just to make sure. We want to make sure it pops up in all of our places, in all of our universe. Okay, cool. So you go and you can go on and learn about us and also get plugged in and make sure that you get the newsletter. We are still working on the newsletter. I am almost done. I have to make sure I get a couple of things completed with that. And like I said, I'm waiting for maybe 2 more articles. Got it all lined up, and now I got to go in and totally format it and hopefully have enough time to have somebody do some proofreading. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to overwork the warriors that we got out here hustling. Also along with this Gye-Nyame journey thing, the free e-course. Also, I want to make sure that y'all know that we do have our merch up. Now, if you are going to purchase it, I would advise you to use, if you got a computer, use a computer, because people have been having problems getting it up off the internet with the tablets. With the cell phones. So maybe you could do it with a tablet. I don't know. I haven't had luck in being able to get people to be able to do that at this point in time, but it's working over the computer. That's how I ordered my gear. Maybe that's why it worked for me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to help the family. And worst come to worst, if you want some stuff, like I said, cash, you can cash app me and I will have it sent directly to you. But I would prefer that you go through that way. But if you need your merchandise, it ain't coming fast enough, hit that up. All right, family. Now, before we even get started, because he's going to be calling in a moment, family, the question that was rocking to me, because you know we got the folk tale. We were supposed to do folk tales for grown folks tonight. We're going to put the folk tale to the side, and we will do it later. We might be able to do some of it over this weekend, over our Toast and Talk this weekend, if you see fit, if that's something that y'all would want to do. But the thing that I want you to think about is what type of educational institution is serving your child. Well, actually, do you have an educational institution that's serving your child, or is your child serving that educational institution? You know what I'm saying? Are we involved in our communities, in our education, in the education of our children, to a point to where we could walk into the school, we could feel the vibe, and we could see that they are trying to prepare our children for a great future, for a future for our people. Like, for example, when I walk through my halls, you know what I see? I see future council members. I see future mayors of this city and other cities in Ohio, maybe all over Ohio. Maybe a governor. I see police officers. I see police chiefs. I see safety directors. I see area commissioners. I see lawyers. I see judges, right? I see all of the working parts of a city. And as I was talking to my parents today, the thought occurred to me, why would you send your child anywhere else other than an institution that was geared towards moving them towards being in power? I'm just asking, family. Why would you send your child to a place that is not trying to at least get the mind right so that they could be of service to our people, especially in the situation that we're moving into? So that was something that was on my mind as I was talking to some of the parents today. Also, family, in the newsletter, we will be doing, I'm sending out a travel survey, and we're going to be talking about the economics. We're going to be talking about the education level. It's going to be anonymous, so I'm going to need y'all to be honest. No. I'm making it anonymous so that nobody has to know your business. This call is being recorded. I want you to be honest so that we can get the real data, so that we know what we are dealing with. So right now, it looks like we're being joined by Brother Hummons. Let me go on. Yes. Let me go on, and I want to set the controls because I don't want nobody calling in right now. I'm gonna lock the conference call just for me and you by locking your conference. You don't prevent any additional participant from joining. It's recommended to lock a conference only after everyone whom you are expecting join. All right, cool. Let's lock the conference call right now.
Conference locked.
So I will open the lines after me and Mr. Hummons get our piece on. The brother's name is Ronald Hummons. He's joining us. He will be having a 24-hour hunger strike on October 14th at 8 a.m. starting October 14th 8 a.m. all the way through October 15th at 8 p.m. Can you tell them about what's going on and why you doing it?
Okay, well, first it's 8 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Oh, it's 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. Okay.
On that 15th, yeah. So we're doing a 24-hour hunger strike, and the purpose of it is to raise awareness of PTSD in African American children. It's a huge issue that's not being discussed, and I feel like with something so radical, such a radical issue, it needed a radical response. So I decided, you know what, let's do a hunger strike.
All right, cool. So now, how did you get in? How did you come across this PTSD thing? You know what I'm saying? First off, for the people that don't know, what is PTSD, and how do you get it? Post-traumatic
stress. Well, it usually comes through trauma, traumatic experience. It's post-traumatic stress. And the American Psychiatric Association, they just released a report and said that African American children suffer from PTSD at high levels of soldiers. And for me personally, that should ring alarms. Bells should be going off, in every black community, every black leader, religious leader, politician. We should see an urgency, but we don't. And the reason why is because, and that's the reason why my focus is on African American children, because see, if the demographic would have been different, if the demographic would have been a much lighter reflection of kids, there would have been an urgency put out. From our black politicians as well, to do something immediately. But because it's African American children, usually mental health issues are usually dismissed in the African American community.
So, what type of events? What type of events could you describe that some of our people need to get some services on that will cause PTSD? Just for those that might be new at this.
Well, for one, we can't dismiss the historical factor of PTSD. You know what I'm saying? Historical trauma. It's 400 years and 72 Jim Crow era.
All right, you got to talk into your phone. You got to talk directly into the phone because it's fading in and out.
Okay, so like I said, we can't ignore the historical factor of trauma in the black community. 400 years of slavery, and then another 72 of the Jim Crow era. We've only been free for 5 minutes. There's a term in the mental health field called epigenetics. Epigenetics is the transfer of DNA. So if we've only been free for 120 something years, that's like a lifetime. There's people that live that long. So the trauma.
It's actually not 120 something years. If you look at it, Jim Crow just really ended within my lifetime. I was born in 1968, so we're talking about 1965, possibly up until now. But
I know.
Right. So go ahead.
Right. I agree with you 100% on that. I was just speaking of 1864. From that point on. But you're exactly right. So, like I said, when you factor that in. The policies that were created, that were used to traumatize our communities, this fragment, there's no dismissing that. But people don't want to talk about that. Politicians don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the fact that trauma has impacted us more than it's impacted any other community in the United States. So now we're dealing with, in the 80s, we had the epidemic of crack babies. Now we have an epidemic of trauma babies. And this is a real disease. The diseases that the thing about trauma is we wear it in our bodies, and it goes totally undiagnosed in the African American community. But yet we walk around with these sicknesses, stomach aches, these headaches, a lot of different issues that we deal with, fibromyalgia. Not even realizing that this is trauma that's in our body that's not being released.
That's not being released
because we don't even know how. We don't even understand.
Right.
Yeah. So now we're talking about our kids now. our kids are suffering from. So this is the thing. If we don't do something to heal these kids, they're going to grow up to be broken adults like us. See, I suffer from fibromyalgia, and my life. So my book Diamond, it's a best-selling book, and I got a movie deal on that book. Rotimi from Dre from Power. He's actually playing me in the Netflix film. So my entire life filled with traumatic incidents from birth, from conception. I was conceived by rape. I survived 2 abortion attempts. I was adopted at 5 to one of the most violent person that I could ever been adopted to. So that's all I known all my life was trauma. And now I wear it. I wear it, man, every day, and I suffer every day. I'm in pain every single day, and I'm learning some holistic measures. So I'm going through a lot of different treatments holistically. So I'm not into the medication piece.
Right.
Learning how to release this trauma from my body. You know what I'm saying? Through like meditation. It's one of the biggest pieces that I use. But, you know, for me though, like I said, our generation, man, your generation, it's not so much that we're lost and that I'm not, you know, really trying to impact that generation. But my focus is on this next generation, and generation after, and 10 generations down the road. So if we don't impact this generation now, they're going to grow up to be broken adults. And when you're talking about kids suffering from PTSD, they can't even concentrate in school. So you get kids, man, they talk, you know, and in Cincinnati, they're talking about spending $6 million in Cincinnati public schools. Like, what for? These kids, man, can't even function. You know, not alone dealing with the trauma that they're currently dealing with now, you know, missing meals, the violence in the community, like all of this, it contributes to it. And nobody's talking about it. To me, that bothers the hell out of me because, you know, in one neighborhood in Cincinnati, we have 50 churches. How do we have 50 damn churches in this one neighborhood? But nobody is dealing with this issue of African-American children suffering from PTSD on epidemic levels. Because like I said, if they were white kids, I'm sorry, man, even our black politicians would jump on board. So the state of emergency on opioids. Guess what? Over half our black politicians jumped on board to sign off on that.
Right.
They were urgent, trying to bring treatment to that, right?
Right. We gotta save them. We gotta save them. Yeah, you know how they do. Go ahead. They want to save everybody else but us. But us. You know what I'm saying? Opioids affects 96% of the white community and less than 10% of the black. But Ohio spent $17 billion on this so-called crisis, right? Mm-hmm. They spent it on treatment. So wait a minute, how do you spend $17 billion on one community? Because like I said, repeat those numbers, it affects 96% of the white community and less than 10% of the black community, which means that almost 100% of that money went to go treat the white community. But yet, when we start talking about our community, our black and brown children, then, you know, the discussion just kind of, you know, they'll hear it. I've met with different politicians. I'm pushing the bill right now. I'm pushing for Ohio to become the first state to execute a state of emergency on childhood trauma, with a focus on black and brown babies that suffer from PTSD. So this hunger strike is also to push that and to fuel this bill that I'm pushing. Now, so the event that's going down, I understand you have some guests that you are bringing in. Can you go on and describe the event, the event, and you know, if people come down to support you, what should they expect? What's going on?
Oh my God, man! So I don't know if your listeners, man, have seen the Netflix show When They See Us. It was about the Central Park Five, the 5 boys that were locked up when they were kids for.
Some people did. I wasn't able to. I after hearing some of the reviews, you know, that's like you talk about the trauma. You know what I'm saying? Watching shit like that kind of, you know, messes with me. So, but yeah, some of the people have seen it. Okay,
so Yusef Salaam. If they Google his name, Yusef Salaam, or if they just Google Central Park 5. So they were just at the Emmy Awards, and they did the Netflix show When They See Us. Yusef Salaam is my keynote speaker for this event. And he gives a powerful message. So one of the things that he does is he has letters from when he was incarcerated those 7 years for wrongfully conviction of the white girl in Central Park. Mm-hmm. And I mean, like Donald Trump did an op-ed and talked about how these young men need to be hung. They need to be executed.
Right.
And so people were writing letters all over the country to these young men while they were incarcerated, hate mail. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, talking about, man, they want to kill them, all types of stuff. He has those letters. and he actually reads them. He's going to do that at the State House as well. So he's going to give, man, something that your viewers don't want to miss. You know, they definitely should come and hear him. We have Morgan Harper. She's running for Congress. We have Chief Blackwell. He was the Cincinnati Police Chief of Police in Cincinnati. And this man, he understands the impact of trauma on kids from the perspective of a police officer, and that's going to be huge. So I mean, we got a lineup, and I have spoken word artists. I mean, it's going to be dope. Like I'm gonna have also live music. I mean, we're gonna throughout the day. There's going to be a number of you know, entertainment and spoken words, man, and speakers just throughout the day. And I want to tell people, bring a lawn chair. Definitely bring a lawn chair. We're gonna have bottled water there, so they won't necessarily need that. But like I said, it's a 24-hour hunger strike, and the purpose of it is, man, to send a message. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, we're dealing with stuff in our community, man, that's way overdue now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, all these community leaders, all these black politicians, all these black faces, but yet we're dealing with gentrification at record number, man, and I mean murder at record number, and just all this. Yeah, so it's like, how do we have all these black leaders and black politicians, but yet we're not getting anything done in our community? So it's time for us to make a stand, and we have to do some radical shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I took it to a Gandhi level. You know what I'm saying? With the hunger strike. So I did a 48-hour hunger strike in Columbus at the State House. That was the first time when I actually launched this initiative. I did that in November, and I'm sorry, no, Columbus code is different than Cincinnati code. See, in November, we still rocking a hoodie and some shorts and Timbs. And y'all cold in November? Man, I had on a snowsuit, 3 pairs of long johns. That shit was cold as hell, bro. But I went out there for 48 hours in the cold, man, because I'm like, and I did it by myself. Now I got hundreds of people from all over Ohio that's joining me now because they're like, you know what? We get it. This is a serious issue. If it was Little Billy, then, you know, everybody would be out supporting that. They would have a bill passed ASAP.
Right.
But because it's Gye-Nyame,
nobody
it's like, okay,
Gye-Nyame.
well, you know.
Nobody want to support Gye-Nyame. Now, I got a question for you, because this kind of brings it around to what we talk about a lot on here, because I heard you talking about some things, and one of the things that I heard you say, that 96% of the users of opiates is white. And so that meant 96% of that money that they had people all out here trying to get went to white people, which is a form of reparations. Now, I have a question for you. How do you feel about reparations for ADOS, or American Descendants of Slavery?
How do I feel about reparations?
Yes.
I mean, of course, I totally agree with it. I think that, but I don't. So for me personally, with coming from the political side of it as well, and being such a politic head the way I am, and the analytic and the X3 dude, like I kind of understand it on a different level, and I feel like that that we need that ASAP, but I don't feel like it should just be a money disbursement. If that makes any sense, like I feel like that it should be really calculated.
Oh yeah, now for all those out there, you go to ADOS101.com. The whole Black Agenda is on there. And, I mean, of course, we could talk as a people about how the disbursements, because it can't all be cash, because they don't got that amount of money. But, you know, I just wanted to bring that up because that plays into the whole trauma piece that you're trying to bring awareness to, because they also have this thing called post-traumatic slave syndrome as well. You know what I'm saying? So that PTSS. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of our people suffer. And you said in some of the ways that PTSD or PTSS, or however you want to, this post-traumatic issue affects our children in ways where it's hard for them to learn, hard for them to sit still in school. It affects the body, like you say. You have fibromyalgia, and there's a whole bunch of other diseases that comes along with trauma, because trauma brings stress to the body, and when the body is stressed, the body is going to start shutting down and start using only the necessary parts for an individual to survive. It makes it even hard for you to think. Anybody that's ever been stressed, we know this. It makes it hard to think. So imagine if you grow up like this. It stunts your growth. It stops your potential. You know what I'm saying? And I salute you because you get a Gye-Nyame salute, a crack of lightning from the Gye-Nyame family because you're fighting to bring awareness to something that is truly at the heart of a lot of the problems. You know what I'm saying? Because we talk about moving to another level, but we have not started to do that, in a sense, what's called lineage therapy, that therapy that we can start really clearing ourselves up. But let me ask you a question, because I understand you focusing on it with the children. But also, are you doing any work with adults? Because the children go home to the adults.
Yeah, I mean, I do have. So I created a workshop. I'm actually getting ready to launch it in Cincinnati. That's gonna be strictly for adults. It's a couple of different pieces to it. Part of it is called trauma. Trauma walk, trauma talk, and I'm actually going to be teaching holistic measures on how to heal, how to release trauma. So that I am doing on the adult side. I'm doing the policy part for the kids, and I'm doing a lot of holistic workshops for the adults.
And you bring in, and also I want to salute you because you are bringing awareness of the political process, the importance of the political process, because this not only is this an issue of our people, but it's also an issue of government. And we need to be able to learn how to move, as you said, because, and learn some of these ways so that we can start pushing legislation for ourselves, even though people out there don't want to support it. You know what I'm saying? So how do you deal with that? Because some people, because I know you run into a lot of politicians that give you the handshake and the head nod, and they giving you positive affirmations, but behind the closed doors, they are not even thinking about taking what you're talking about seriously. How do you deal with that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. Honestly, the people that are behind closed doors supporting, but won't come out in public, are unfortunately the black ones. And I'm talking about on the city level and the state level. The black faces are the ones, man, that really just sit back and be really dismissive of me when it's time to go out in public. Man. So my mentor is actually an older white gentleman, and he's a far-right Republican, and he's the president of Tea Party Cincinnati. So if your listeners know what Tea Party is, that right there should tell them enough. So he's the president of Tea Party Cincinnati, super conservative, and this is my mentor. So guess what I do? They teach me everything that I need to know and everything I need to learn, so I can't take it back over here to work it over here for my people. So like this is one of the things that they told me. They said policy is what got you all in the position that you're in now. This is coming from white people.
Oh, yeah.
Telling me policy is what got us in. So I'm looking around, looking at our black leaders, like, okay, these white people, they get it. How do you all not get it? Policy is what got us here. So policy is going to get it out. It's what's going to get us out. Not prayer, not none of this other shit. Policy. So for me, that's the reason why I created the state of emergency on childhood trauma. And I modeled it after the state of emergency on opioids. So a lot of the language that I use came from that. So I'm putting them in a position where it's like you can't deny this, you can't dismiss this. And I got some far right Republicans that's already supporting it, because this is how they looking at it. And everything that I do, man, I do like methodically. I'm super strategic, and I understand war. And in war, you got to have a plan. So my plan was, like I said, create a model, right? So instead of me trying to create something brand new, I just took a model that was already successful.
Right.
The state of emergency of opioids, it was successful. So why not just recreate that model, right?
Right.
So now I need to find people, man, that I can use their ego. So think about this. Ohio becoming the first state to execute a state of emergency on childhood trauma. Just think about how that sounds. That's a feather in the hat to Ohio, whether if you're Republican or Democrat. But see, guess what? The Democrats, they don't get that because they're so scared. And unfortunately, our black politicians, see, they don't own their perspectives. They don't own their narratives.
Not exactly.
Everybody else owns their perspective. So they worried about what everybody else thinks to say. That's how their perspectives are created. So that's what they're worried about. With powerful white people, they don't give a fuck about your perspective. Because guess what? Like my mentor, I mean, he keeps it really frank with me. He said, man, a lot of those Republican candidates that's in that state house, I'm the one that paid for their campaign. So he's like, you think I give a fuck about what people say? I'm like, wow, that's how that shit works. They own their own perspectives, but they don't give a fuck about what you think about it, because they own this shit anyway.
Right.
See, if black people got into that same mindset and stop worrying about other people creating, the perceptions of them, then we would get a lot more done and stop worrying about, being liked. So, like I said, I got some far-right Republicans, and I'm using the ego. Like, yeah, think about it. Ohio, the first state to execute this. Imagine how much that would put Ohio even more on the map of the United States. They like the idea. They like the sound of it. They like the idea of it, the whole marketing aspect of it. Whereas the black people, it's like they should be jumping on it because it's affecting their kids, and they're scared of it. But the white people, they looking at it like, shit, it's a great fucking idea. Let's go with it. So guess who's coming to this 24-hour hunger strike? None of the blackface Democrats that behind closed doors talk about how much they love it. But these white Republicans, the ones, and these are some of the same ones that's already put thousands of dollars behind it. Think about that. See, we gotta know how to be strategic. You know what I'm saying? See, I'm not gonna do boycotts and stupid ass shit like that, because these white people, see, we don't have a base strong enough to make any type of power moves on our own right now. So guess what? As a conscious leader, I understand we need them. Yes, come on board. You know what I'm saying? Bring your influence, bring your money, bring all of that. But understand that I'm a direct this ship though, and they're okay. They don't have a choice but to be okay with it. But I know that we can't do this on our own. I can't do it on my own. I don't have enough black people to stand with me for real. I mean, as messed up as it is, in the city of Cincinnati, I've done so much incredible work, but I can't get enough black people to stand with me. And there'll probably be more white people at this event than black people. And it's fucked up, but that's the way, that's the reality. You know what I'm saying? But yet, let it be an all-white party or some, a concert or something like that. Black people are gonna show up and turn out and bring their money and everything. But yet, I'm trying to save tens of thousands of African American youth right here in Ohio by pushing a policy, man, that's gonna have a huge impact on their lives, and then 10 generations down the road, and y'all won't show up for that.
Now,
y'all won't get $10.
What are some of the things that your policy is calling for to be done for our children that are suffering from PTSD?
So a gentleman asked me that on Instagram. He asked me, he said, so once it's executed, then, what's next? And I had to explain to him, and I have to keep it really short and simple. But I told him, I said, what's next is the same thing that happened when they executed the state emergency on opioids. The healing process started. 5 years down the road, there won't be an opioid issue. I guarantee you that, because they knew how to address it with policy. 5 years down the road, if this is executed, so these are some of the things that I'm in the framework that I created, right? So when you think about, mental health issues, mental health and nutrition is connected. You can't separate those two. So one of the things that I'm calling for is, so in our inner city community, a real live trauma center, and not this bullshit that they trying to call it something happening now like a resource center, but a trauma center. And in this trauma center, so one of the things that we're going to have in the trauma center is I'm talking about Martha Stewart style cooking classes. We ain't talking about like no bullshit. Don't give us no building that ran down and saying we give you this and you fix it up. No, we want it look like a little small clinic, a little small hospital. So in this cooking class, right, for women that's on EBT, on a food stamp card, like I said, real life cooking classes where now we have nutritionists that understand the connection between nutrition and mental health and teaching these young women. These foods here, these ingredients, these whatever, like they're toxic. If your kids suffer from ADHD, PTSD, whatever, these foods here are toxic. They increase inflammation, whatever the issue is. But these foods over here, they increase healing. And actually breaking it down, showing these young women, the ingredients, man, they help to actually heal from the inside out. Because we got to heal. You know what I'm saying? So then now showing these ingredients and putting meals together. You know what I'm saying? Full, delicious, full-fledged meals together. Relationships, I want to form partnerships with like Whole Foods and with Kroger's, and be able to, man, like literally merge them into the trauma center as well. as far as, with helping these females be able to get the ingredients they need to be able to create these food and these meals for these kids. Man, I got a whole framework, man, that's laid out. And it would take me like all night to go through it. But basically, the other piece of it is, though, and this is just a small piece. So while we're doing healing from the inside out, see our landscape. So one of the things I'm asking for after this is phase 3, what I'm doing Monday. Phase 4 is when I'm going to ask for a commission and a strike force to be not a strike force. What's the word I'm looking for? A commission to be put together, right? And so one of the things I want this commission to look at, one of the gentlemen that's on my board, he's a doctor at the Wesley Medical Center, and he's going to be an advisor for this commission. So one of the things that we want them to look at is how land development, the effects, to think about it when you ride through the hood. So when I ride through like Avondale or Madisonville and Cincinnati, these are the hood areas, right? Mm-hmm. The difference, that it has on your energy.
Oh, yeah.
Like your vibration, like all of this stuff, man, is so holistic, right? Because, those vibrations, man, become so low. And guess what that does? That's going to create anger. That's going to create fear. That's going to create so many different issues that we deal with in the community. You know what I'm saying? But then you go ride through like Dublin and Columbus, you see the white woman running down the street in little pink leggings and shit and some A6 gym shoes on and just smiling for no freaking reason. It's like, damn. The fuck, you know what I'm saying? What are you smiling for? But the reason being because literally vibrations are everything. Energy is everything, right? So, and it's a real thing.
A lot of that.
So definitely look into this commission.
A lot of that comes from too. One of the things I noticed, especially, let me say in Columbus, that when you drive and if you ever have one of those areas where you could drive through and you could start seeing the neighborhoods change, you start noticing a lot of older trees in those quote unquote better neighborhoods. A lot when you go through the hood, there all the trees are young. All that is gone. You know what I'm saying? So there's no nature there. You know what I'm saying? So I feel you on that. That's gonna take a lot of work, and it's gonna take us pushing something like this through. Now, so you said you did it last year for 48 hours. You got more support this year. And you said this is you on phase 3. So on phase 4, you feel that you're gonna be able to push through and get some of this stuff moved on. Not just in Cincinnati, but statewide. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, this is for the state of Ohio. And so phase 4 that's gonna be the lobbying phase. So what lobbying is when people have like gun issues or abortion issues, different policies they want to push. You have to file what's called a lobbying day, and that's when you get a chance to go in front of the full representatives and senators, and you bring as many witnesses, as many people come in and give testimonies about whatever issue it is that you're pushing to convince them why they need to push it. So one of the people I'm going to use for lobbying day. Once again, back to Central Park 5. So, when they see us, the one brother, Corey, he went through more hell than all 5 of them. And he was actually, he was the youngest and one of the last ones that was arrested. And I'm talking about his stuff, man, the stuff he went through, like, you really got to see it. So he's going to come on board for that. I'm pulling in some big names to go with me a lobbying. I'm also bringing in 20. So I teach in the prison. So I teach an entrepreneur class in the Pitt and Warren Correctional Institution. So I got mass inmates writing letters. I'm only going to read 25 of them. And they're going to write letters about how trauma and PTSD impacted their life, impacted their childhood, how it created the scene where they're at right now, prison. You know what I'm saying? And I'm actually going to read these letters one at a time. Along with, I got 3 doctors, the guy that's on my board from the Wesley Medical Center. I got a psychiatrist from Cincinnati, and I got a pediatrician coming from Cleveland, and a psychiatrist. So I got a team I'm bringing, for lobbying day. And that's when I'm going to, request for a task force. That's what for a task force and commission to be put together immediately to start looking into all the issues that, we've discussed. And to start literally creating, what's needed for the framework to move into the policy writing stage.
All right. So what I'm gonna do now is first off, Go on, say out the dates, say the name of the event, and also tell people how to reach you, because what I'm going to do is we're going to keep on talking, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the lines so that if anybody out there has any question for Brother Ronald, Mr. Ronald Hummons, feel free to call in. I'm about to open the lines as we speak. Let me go. I gotta figure out how to lock, because this is the first time I ever locked it. So I gotta figure out how to unlock it. Conference lock. Okay, there we go. Boom. Come on up. There we go. All right. Come on back up. Oh, nope, wrong thing. All right. Go ahead. Tell them how to get in contact with you. Tell them what you need them to hear.
Conference unlocked.
All right, so now.
All right, so you can go on Facebook.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
You want me to go?
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So you on Facebook, Ronald Ronald Hummons, Hummons. Definitely go find me on Facebook. Up first, you will get a lot of information about me and about my movement and just about everything that I'm involved in. On Instagram, Ronald, the letter A, Ronald A. Hummons. _ official on Instagram.
Okay, y'all got that? And your event is happening when?
October 14th. It starts at 8 a.m. The speaking is going to start at 10. Definitely come and hear the speakers and come and meet Yusef. You definitely don't want to miss this. October 14th at 8 a.m. to October 15th at 8 a.m.
He also has a book called Diamond, the story of Ronald Hummons' life. You can check it out. It's on Amazon right now. Will some of your books be available?
They go to my Facebook page. Yeah, they go to my Facebook page. They can find the links to all of that.
Okay, cool. Let's go on and post that up. Let me just go on and find a way to get over here to Facebook real quick, and we'll post that up. And also, family, now the lines are open. Let me go and post that up so that y'all get it. Those that don't remember the number, it's 614-556-4535. Once again, the number is 614-556-4535. All right, because I was kind of concerned, man, because I got to bring this up because in the past, I worked with Elder Harry Belafonte, and one of the first lessons that I learned from him was that when you hear the term hunger strike, you know what I'm saying? Because I thought you was going to, go all out. Because a hunger strike, in order for it to be official hunger strike, you got to be willing to die. Because what happens is, when you strike, you say, boom, ain't no, ain't no food. I ain't eating until stuff go by. So you new schooled it. You like, boom, 48 hours, 24 hours. I'm fasting. I'm doing an extended fast to bring an attention to this, which is an excellent method for learning how to deal with stress as well. Because it's very therapeutic. Are you using any fasting? You obviously are using, but do you use fasting outside of when you're doing events like this to bring some clarity, to bring some healing to some of the trauma that you have suffered in the past?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because a lot of the trauma that we carry in our abdomen. That's why you hear a lot about more the belly aches and the gastric issues, stuff like that. So fasting is definitely one of the ways, man, that works to heal that.
All right, so
while meditating.
While meditating. Oh man, it's a powerful piece. At Gye-Nyame once a year, I started doing what I call a 21-day Nguza Saba challenge, and on that 21 day, part of my challenge is the fast. So I think I did it maybe 3 years in a row. We do about a 21-day fast. Got a little system for it. So I'm up on Ronald Hummons right now, and I'm going to share his page as soon as it pops up. But anybody have any questions or any comments, feel free to call in. Feel free to call in. Because some of y'all out there, don't be shy. Come and greet the brother. Come and greet the brother and let him know that you are in support, or and even some of y'all that might have questions or might even want to try to have some opposition. I don't know why you would have it, but it happens. So I'm looking at, I got Ronald A. Hummons. I think that's we're talking about your page.
So that's go to my personal page is just Ronald Hummons.
Okay. So go
just
to
type that in and it search. Yeah.
All right, cool. Because I went to the big page, but the one
the
I
fan
just pulled
page.
Up, yeah.
Right.
I should go to the fan page or no?
No. Just go to the personal.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go and post it up and share it. Ronald Hummons. It got state of emergency of travel. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go and post this up for the family out there. Those that want to go check out his page, I'm gonna post this up. Go and check it out. Support the brother. Go to his other page and as well, and follow so that you can stay informed about what's going on. So let's go and post this up. Boom. There we go. All right. So y'all quiet tonight. What's going on? I see some of y'all out there. I see some of y'all out there watching. So now, Brother Kwame made a comment. He said Republicans know how to organize and implement, if nothing else. Family, one of the things that we all got to do, that we got to recognize, in whatever we do, we always gonna need allies. But also, we also need to remember, like this brother is talking, because it's like the ones that get the change, like he mentioned his mentors in the Tea Party. The Tea Party was never a majority of the Republicans. They were a stubborn minority. Y'all hear me constantly talking about the importance of the stubborn minority. And what we have to do as far as to make the political changes that we need to be the stubborn minority when we are dealing with our politicians, especially those that say they serve us but are not serving us. We got to go on and start moving them up and out. They're getting in the way. And we got to start rolling them over, running them over, and chasing them up out of office, because they are not looking out for our best interests. They're trying to satisfy everybody else, because like the brother said earlier, if it was a little Tim, you know what I'm saying, this shit would have already been on the books. But because, as he said, it's Gye-Nyame, you know what I'm saying, Gye-Nyame is supposed to just get over it. Because the way they have always had us deal with our stress is they don't send in the psychiatrist and give our young people a day off. No, y'all just supposed to be able to get over it. I mean, and there's studies that shows how individuals and how this country and how this city and how this state deals with us when it comes to trauma. You are supposed to just be able to get over it and keep on moving. That's what slaves do. I can sell your mama. I don't care.
That's real.
I mean, I can sell your mama. You gonna get over it. You better get out there and pick that. You can have a baby. Okay, you got a day. Not even a day. I mean, this is the planting season. You know what I'm saying? We got to pick. You know what I'm saying? Drop that baby off and get your ass back out in the field. This is what we are dealing with. And what we got to understand, family, is that we have to start being that stubborn minority and start pushing our issues forward. You know what I'm saying? Using some of the strategies that the brother has been describing and how he done got his movement to go forward and start speaking up for ourselves, because we have individuals that are in office right now that are not speaking up for us. They're looking right past us. They will jump on immigrant issues rather than jump on your issues. They will jump.
You know what the issue is, though? Is
go ahead.
See, white people, they understand that these politicians work for them. See, they get it. We're the only ones that don't get it. That's the reason why, like I said, you know, these white guys, man, these are my mentors. Like, for one, I've never had, so I grew up in the hood. Did 7.5 years in the penitentiary. I never had a black mentor, a black male mentor, and never a day in my life. It took a white man. When I came home from prison, and people read it in my book. This white man invested $125,000 and the start of my first business. That's how I got into the entrepreneur world and traveled the world, lived in Bangkok, Thailand, all this shit, right? You know what I'm saying? And then from there, he just took me up on his wing, man. So that's why I learned. That's why I learned entrepreneurism from. I learned, philanthropy from, and now I learn politics from them from, because I took all the information that they gave me and brought it back over here. And I'm trying to teach people that look like us. I'm trying to impact our community. But these motherfuckers are sweet. It's like, man, what are y'all missing? These politicians, these black faces, they work for you. Meaning that they're supposed to do what you tell them to do.
They supposed to.
But we don't put no pressure to them. So, it's like, okay, they don't give a fuck.
They just get a free ride. They already know that we're going to vote for them just because it's a black face. But family, we have to start realizing that just having a black face but no agenda is not good. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if we're going to be serious about it, you know what I'm saying? We need to make sure that every politician that comes before us, I don't give a damn if they're going for the dog catcher. They work for us, and we got to make sure that they know that they work for us. That if we put you in, we could take you out. It's just that simple. But we got to not only do we have to do it as far as using the media like we are doing right now, so I can help expose you to this smaller audience, and prayerfully people will be sharing our conversation. You understand what I'm saying? There's other outlets out there that's going to be doing the same thing, and we have to start building up a force where we could build up that critical mass. It don't even take all of us. This is what a lot of people don't understand. You're talking about being unified. No, unity, it doesn't require a lot of people. It only requires a team or a small group that are stubborn enough to believe in what they believe in and push it through. The Tea Party proved that. The American Revolution proved that. The Civil Rights Movement proved that. You know what I'm saying? Because you see large numbers, but when you compare, like for example, just go to the Civil Rights Movement, family. You go and look at all those people marching. If you compare the numbers of the people marching statistically to the amount of black people that was in America, it is a very, very small percentage. Many of us think that everybody, we think that everybody was involved. We know everybody wasn't involved. Right? We thinking we need large numbers. We don't need large numbers. We need that stubborn minority that everybody figured. Because think about this. With the Tea Party, everybody figured that it was easier to work with them than to feel their wrath. Yeah, they had some money behind them.
That's real talk.
But even with that, because you had other people that was raising money, that was raising more money than them and got whooped because they would not bend to the will of the stubborn minority. When are we going to start playing politics the way politics is supposed to be played? We just vote and we just give it away. It's supposed to be some type of exchange. My man brought up an issue about our children suffering from PTSD, but yet when they get in trouble, we're dealing with them like they're doing some of this shit on purpose. I work with children every day, and I see ones that cannot control what the hell is going on. They can't even slow their mind down.
Right.
We know what it is, but you're supposed to just get over it, nigga. Get over it. I know you just came from your cousin's funeral, but get over it. I know y'all might have not ate last night. I know you might have got beat last night, but get over it. This is why I brought up the point at the beginning of the show. How is it that we turn our children over to these institutions, and these institutions that we call schools are not even striving to prepare your children to be in positions of leadership? Not even talking to them about it. But yet we allow our children to spend 8 hours a day in these institutions. Come on, family. Come on, family. Are you serious?
Yeah.
All right. So, family, listen. We are at the 10 o'clock hour. I want to thank Brother Ronald Hummons. Remember, he will be at the State House from 8 a.m. on the 14th to 8 a.m. on the 15th. Come on out. Support, you know what I'm saying? Check out his book on Amazon. I'm gonna throw up a post with it up there as well. Just support the brother in any way that you can. All right. You got any last words, sir?
I'm good, brother. I want people to come out there, man. Come see me. Come if you anything, just come out there and see you, Steph. If you just want to come out there for the photo op.
Yes, sir. So once again, family, I want to remind you, you are now standing in the congregation of the mighty. This is the home of the stubborn minority, the place where your hustle build muscle. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. This is a Heart of a Simple production, and right now this is Gye-Nyame Journey Media Live with one of our first interviews in this phase of our development with Mr. Ronald Hummons. Of course, you know it's a Heart of a Simple production. Last but not least, family, we strive to blow up your old paradigm. I will see you in the morning. Thank you, sir. And I will see you.
My pleasure, brother.
I will see you out there, and